Hey, it's Melanie again, and this is UX in 5. So this week, I am going to teach you a little bit about how psychologists think about the world and kind of the perspective we bring to UX, which is either a really great or really frightening prospect. You be the judge. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, and what I'm going to show you is, ta-da, this. So what this is a model of cause and effect, as you can see by that incredibly informative title. But this is basically one of the ways that psychologists think about the world. So first I want you to understand that psychologists in general are all about studying behavior and attitudes. Um, Behavior is a really concrete thing that you can observe. Um, Attitudes are something that are much more difficult and abstract. All of these things you can measure. And the particular bias of psychologists is that we are very quantitative in how we measure behavior. The reason for that is because as psychologists, we know that our own biases in how we view any topic area, particularly one we're interested in, is going to be affected by our knowledge of the area. So in order to get around that, we use quantitative methods and statistics as our primary mechanism for understanding behavior. And to that end, we make models that look kind of like this. So what you'll see here is a model that I've been constructing for the last 20 years. 20 years, yeah. So you can summarize my life for 20 years as a professional on one page, which is either really good or really bad. Um, what this is you have the precursors over here in the purple. So these are sort of the causes of the rest of the model. And the direction of arrow shows the relationship between what is the cause and what is the effect. So you notice here that way on the left, we have human behavior and attitudes, or another word for this is persona. So what are the particular variables, and this would be a set of variables that are influential or causal in this case, influencing usability. Then we have UX design. Again, this is another collection of specific variables about a user experience that also influences usability. So here we have usability as a perceptual variable, and the way that psychologists think about usability is as an emergent quality that depends on human behavior and attitudes and a particular UI design. Usability, in turn, influences customer satisfaction, which, when when it occurs over time, customer satisfaction then influences repeat usage or loyalty. So this sort of key set of causes and effects is obviously what we understand about most self-service experiences to date. And there's quite a lot of research literature through psychology as well as marketing, services marketing specifically, that supports this model. The other piece you see down here is customer delight, and this is something that is relatively new in the field. It used to be that UX and human factors really only cared about usability, but in the last, I would say, 10 to 15 years, has started to talk about what is there beyond just basic functional usability that actually can make people come back to experiences more and more. And so I just characterize that here as customer delight. And what you can see in the way that I made arrows in this model is that I'm showing that there are some reciprocal effects between different specific attitudes and behaviors and a UI design. In other words, how different people interact with different user experiences will be influential on usability. And I'll talk about that more in a later session. And then the other thing that is sort of my hypothesis is that there are certain aspects of a user experience that directly influence both satisfaction and delight. And I think then, so that's what these two arrows are showing. And so what my hypothesis is here, that there are some aspects that are important to usability, some are important to satisfaction, different ones are actually important to delight. And you can see both of those things influence loyalty. So quick spin through this little self-service cause and effect model. And I'll talk about the pieces of this and how we measure each piece of this in sessions the rest of the week. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.